Bro, I don't even know where to begin talking about this goddamn anime. If anything, this video is just going to be an announcement that Bastard Season 1 has continued and has finished on Netflix. I don't know if you guys realize, but when it dropped its first batch of 13 episodes earlier this year, that was only part 1 of Season 1, and now we have part 2 of Season 2. I don't know why Netflix has decided to do it this way. I actually heard that they're going to start releasing things like episode by episode, which I think would be a lot better. I think the whole like dropping a season at a time has like ruined taking in entertainment and media, because then you just like forget it a month later. But anyways, that's another topic. Bastard came back, and I don't really know what to say about it. I've been racking my brain trying to think of just something to say about this anime, and I think that this just speaks for itself.
When you gotta motivate the boys.
I mean, this anime is going to give you one particular type of content, and that is extreme horniness alongside just ridiculous, over-the-top Dungeons and Dragons style battles, and that's essentially what this is. It's dark fantasy, heavy metal dark fantasy. Sorry, I had that backwards. Forgive me, I'm still a little under the weather. Heavy metal dark fantasy, and essentially Bastard is just an amalgamation of like Dungeons and Dragons concepts and heavy metal, and every attack and every spell is named after a heavy metal band. There's Halloween, Black Sabbath. The ultimate like god of destruction is called Anthrax, which is like Anthrax the band. Metallicana is the name of the city, and that's what it is. And then you have Dark Schneider, who is just this ultimate badass, just mega uber Chad, who just like is the most powerful person ever, just because. Now, they do sometimes kind of explain the magic, but mostly the magic is sort of just like, I am just capable of doing this because I am this powerful. And every once in a while, it's like, because I have a magic weapon, or because I have a magic ring, or because this is linked to some demonic entity that eventually becomes something way different. I read through the manga before. I do have a review of it on my channel if you want to check it out. And I believe the anime ends somewhere around like volume 7, volume 8, and there's like 20 some volumes officially, but the series has also been on hiatus since like 2010, so there's that. Essentially it's over, but doesn't have an official ending, which is crazy because where the story goes after season 1 is just this complete mindfuck that I only partially understand, and there's not like official translations of the manga either, so you're dealing with fan translations and missing chapters and missing events, and it's not volumized, and it's just like, it is the most ridiculous headache to keep track of imaginable. But it doesn't matter, because what does matter is because you have badass action, you have Dark Schneider being a Chad, you have half-naked chicks everywhere, and it's just a lot of fun, man. Like, Bastard is just meant to be fun. It's not something that's meant to be taken seriously. It's not meant to be something that you think about and have an existential crisis about, even though where it goes beyond this, like, after it gets done with the whole medieval vibe, because eventually this will change from a medieval show into, like, a space Evangelion thing. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but but it does. But even then, just I would not take it too seriously. In this second half of the season, a lot of this is just straight up constant fighting. We get a little bit less of the perverted antics of Dark Schneider, but that's because there's less slice of life moments. There's less moments of leisure. In the second half of season 1, it's pretty much all combat and all battle. So it depends on how you want to feel about that, because there are ridiculously repetitive moments that are happening over and over. Like, Dark Schneider, quote unquote, like almost dies like 7 times in the second half of season 1. And it's one of those things where every single time it's like, I can't believe Dark Schneider's dead. And then, of course, miraculously he doesn't, because he is just the man. Like, he is just legitimately the man, and it can do practically anything. He can get thrown into another dimension. He can detect magic and find his way out. He can lose his entire lower body. Doesn't matter. He can do more magic and just rip through enemies. And he can battle Abigail, who, for all intents and purposes, actually was like a really, really fun antagonist, but he lasted way too long. And I don't even know, I think the fight with him probably lasted maybe 4 episodes, but it felt like it was the entire second half of the season. We also get a lot of other great battles with Arshes, who is the elf, the half-elf anyways, that Dark Schneider kind of like ripped his heart out to save her at the end of the first half of the season. So, you know, she's still around. She has a lot to do in the second half, along with Gara, who is An absolute badass. I love this guy. And he's one of those characters that he feels kind of like the punching bag of the Bastard universe. You know, every anime seems to have that one character that just gets beat up more than all the other characters. But he has this great moment where he fights, I think the character's named Eddie, because I think it's meant to be like a reference to Iron Maiden, but I could be wrong. It's the Grim Reaper type character. He has an incredible fight with that character, this like Lord of the Dead person that just like looks like the Grim Reaper. And, you know, he seems to have defeated Dark Schneider at one point, and then Gaara has to step up and fight him, and that's actually my favorite part, other than, you know, the scene that I showed you guys. That's like my favorite part of the second half of the season. But, you know, you got to go into this like knowing what to expect. You got to go into this knowing that it's ridiculous, it's over the top, it's extremely perverted. You know, every other episode, Dark Schneider is going to be like grabbing on some girl's tits and like trying to make out with her. Like, basically, he's got Arshis, he's got Princess Sheila, and he's got Yoko, and he's like trying to smash all three of them. He's basically trying to build a harem, and I think that at one point in the anime he actually says that like that's part of his life goal, is to just conquer the world and create a harem, which, I mean, I can understand that. I mean, I relate to that. I understand that on like a deep like level, like on a deep like soul bond, soul ties kind of level. I understand the journey of Dark Schneider and what he's trying to accomplish in the world, but really, you know, they all have their specific, unique sort of relationship with him, too, because Yoko views him as, because he is sharing the body with Lucian, who was the little boy that she was looking after for so long, and so she's grown sort of an affection towards him, but she also sort of has this disciplinary relationship with him, where she's the only one that's not afraid to like slap him upside the head if he needs it, or yell at him or scold him or anything like that, where you have Arshis, who is the exact opposite, where Dark Schneider raised her, so she kind of looks up to him as this, as weird as you want to take this, sort of looks up to him as this father figure, or, you know, somebody that she wants to call daddy, essentially. And then you have Princess Sheila, who has some sort of key to unlocking the revival of Anthrax, which is inside of her, you know, it's inside of her, thinner pussy. So she must be protected at all costs, and she has a couple of moments within the later half of the season where it seems like things are going to unlock. I do gotta say, though, the second half, like I said, it is a lot more action-based, though, so although you still get the insane, perverted antics of Dark Schneider, it is not as ridiculous as in the first half of the season, where he gets stabbed with the poison sword and he has Princess Sheila, like, suck out the poison. It's not quite that exaggeratory, just simply because there's a lot more fighting, there's a lot more action that's happening in the second half, and that's really what it is. So you got to be okay with the repetitive nature of it. Like like I said, it keeps going back and forth. It's just constant anime tropes, but it also pokes fun at itself. It also kind of realizes what it's doing. It's not an anime that's trying to be serious, and you can even see like in some of the dialogue. And I don't know how much of this was like, because I watched the English dub, I'm sorry, sue me. I don't know how much of this was just inserts that they put in, or if it was like directly translated from the Japanese, but there is a lot of like little jokes that they'll put in. I think one time Dark Schneider says that if he loses, he'll let the enemy eat Lars, who is the little like baby dragon, and then you hear Lars off screen be like, "What the fuck?" You know, that he just said. So little things like that make me laugh, and that's really what this anime is to me, man. It's just something to make me laugh and just enjoy and have a good time, and just revel in sort of the audacity of how insane it is, and how un-PC it is, and how they can just like get away with basically anything that they want to do, and they can say that, hey, even in this crazy world of 2022, we can still have this lowbrow like series of just like insanely masculine men and scantily clad women, and we can just have a lot of fun with it and just play with the tropes and play with the genre and not take it seriously and just enjoy it and have fun. And so that's what this anime is, man. So you just have to turn your brain off, enjoy it, just revel in the insanity and like the perverted humor of it, and just enjoy some of the fight sequences. You can tell the budget isn't quite, you know, I wish it was a little bit better. I wish the choreography was a little bit better, but they do a lot with what they have. So I got to give them credit for that. So anyways, if you guys have watched part 2, season 1 of Bastard, let me know what you think below. I really don't know what to say about it other than it is an acquired taste. And if you have that taste, then you and me can taste some things together. I love you guys.